Hey everyone, welcome to Dad Casual, where full-time dads and casual gamers come together to discuss everything we love about the games we wish we had more time to play. Thanks for being here. If you would, please take a moment to follow and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and your podcast platform of choice. Maybe even leave us a review. And if you ever have any questions, topics, or thoughts, feel free to email dadcasualpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And without further ado, this is Dad Casual. Welcome to Dad Casual, and welcome to the year of our Lord 2023. We hope you had a safe and wonderful holiday season, but it is now January, and it's time to look forward to the next 12 months of gaming. We have your usual Dad Casual crew with Preston Jensen.
I am here.
He is here. Andy Bond.
Hey, what's up?
And myself, Houston Dragna. Guys, welcome to 2023. How you doing?
We made it.
He made it. Another year, man. Very, very honestly happy to be done with the holidays. I think I'm back, ready to get back to normal life.
Like holidays and for you guys, wedding season, am I right? Or at least the bulk of it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we're in a fun season called booking season. So Preston and I film weddings together, and most of the weddings don't happen in January, February, and March. It's just the cold season. So, but this is oftentimes because a lot of people get engaged at Christmas. This is when people book. So we still get money. We just don't have to do the work yet.
Boom. That's how you do it. Just get money, don't do work.
If you're getting married, hit us up.
And we're
wildfirecinema.com.
Totally national, international. Let's go.
You heard it here first, folks. So, Andy, let's start with you. How was your holidays, man? What did you do?
Oh, man, there was a lot. So my family's, and I was born and raised in Kansas City, so we went up to see my family. We went up on the 23rd, and it was when we landed. So I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana now. We all do. And it is, most of the year it's 70 degrees here, even in the wintertime. Like right now, I think it's 70 degrees outside and raining. But in Kansas City, when we landed, it was -7.
Nope.
And when I got out of the plane, I had to I went outside first and loaded the suitcases. And then I took the kids in my arm and coat and ran them to the car individually. Cause I was I was afraid that their cheeks were literally from the 30 seconds they were out there, and mine too. Everybody's it was just crazy. What's funny is by the time we left, totally fine. It was 30 degrees, which to me by that point felt like nothing.
Felt warm,
but yeah. And so we actually went to the Chiefs football game on that Saturday, and it had warmed up to 15 degrees. But it was fun, but
nice,
but pretty cold. But man, it was a great time.
You got maybe a little stranded there, huh?
Yeah, so
let's hear about that.
I'm sure everybody heard about the Southwest debacle, so we flew Southwest. And so we were supposed to come home the 28th of December. That was completely canceled. And so we ended up staying until the 1st through the new year. So we had to stay 5 extra days. Not exactly what we expected. But we got through it. And honestly, I wasn't at the airport. I wasn't stranded. I was in my parents' warm, comfortable house. And we did a few extra fun things and even got to celebrate New Year's together. But I'm going to be honest. I have 3 kids. I think my parents were pretty tired by the end of it. But I cracked up though, because my mom, I could tell, was tired and ready for us to leave. And then she texted us when we were at the airport, and she said, wow, it's really quiet. I don't know what to do with myself. And I think sometimes I even feel that way as a dad, you're so desperate for a break, but if you even have a day, there's a little bit it's just quiet. It gets quiet fast.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, overall good Christmas, good New Year's, all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It was a really great Christmas and a good time. But like I said, we're back to normal. School starts Thursday, so I'm ready for school to start back, and then it'll feel real.
Nice. It's Preston.
Nice.
How about you, man? How you doing?
Man, my holidays were a little less chaotic than Andy's. It was nice. We stayed here. Both my wife and I's family all lives here in town, so that makes things easier. We hosted Christmas dinner or lunch, which was nice. Everybody came over here, and I bought my son so many presents this year, and it was so fun. I went overboard.
You have one kid.
Yeah, it was
fun.
really, it was a blast. It's fun spoiling him. So,
what was the highlight gift? What did he like the most?
He got a scooter.
Classic.
And he was super stoked.
Timeless.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this later, but I scored an Oculus VR on the cheap.
What? That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the Quest 2?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the second Quest?
Yes. Yes.
Only the newest and best for our man Preston.
I don't think is it? No. The newest one is like...
The Quest 2 is the newest version of the Quest.
Correct.
That's out. No, they've announced the Pro.
Oh,
the Meta.
Yeah, that's
the Meta
true. That's true.
Quest Pro, is that what it's called? But it's like $1,600. Yeah. Meta Quest Pro is out.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the newest one. So I have the 2, but so we'll talk about that a little later. We got to take Rhett on walk around the neighborhood. There's like a new area in our neighborhood being built out, and people were shooting fireworks. So my wife hates fireworks. I hate fireworks when they're not supposed to be going off. So like the day before New Year's, I'm like, guys, come on, try to sleep here. But New Year's Eve, we walked around, met some more neighbors, some new neighbors, and Rhett got to do the little poppers for the first time. He threw some poppers and thought it was hilarious. We had a pretty chill Christmas and New Year's. How about you?
Nice. Very cool. Christmas, kind of similar to you. We stayed at home. That was like the first time in a couple of years we've done that. And like, we were already traveling for like Thanksgiving. We went somewhere for Halloween. Actually, we went out of town for a wedding. So like, we were just like traveling all over the place, either flying or driving very long distances. So, it was nice to kind of just wake up at home, just us three, and like kind of just open presents and do our thing. Like my wife made us matching pajamas, which is the coolest thing ever, like from scratch.
She made them?
Wait, she made them?
Made them. Yeah, I got pictures.
What did she make them out of?
So we bought a fabric. We all picked out a fabric together, and it has like flamingos and Christmas hats, and it's all like really ridiculous and has palm trees and stuff. But then we just bought some red shirts, but then she sewed that fabric into pants for everybody. And so we had like a little matchy Christmas photo shoot. It was great.
Look at y'all.
We went practical this year for my daughter's big gift. We got her a mattress because the one that she's currently sleeping on is from like the 80s.
Her age, she's probably okay with that.
Yeah, she's totally fine. But yeah, this is much more comfortable. It's the same one her mom and I have, but just smaller. So it's super comfy, super nice. And then she got some fun toys, and then like all the relatives gave her a bunch of stuff. But Christmas is great. We went to my mom's house after that, and then for New Year's we drove to Houston, Texas to spend with my wife's mom and their family. Popped some fireworks, did the whole 9. I bought some comic books, which was kind of cool.
Whoa.
We haven't done that in a long time, since like college maybe. So I got some. I think they're almost all. They're all Marvel. I got Spiderman, Miles Morales #1 from a new series, Deadpool #1 from a new series, and Spider-Man and Venom from a series called Dark Web. Really good stuff. I had a blast. It was a really good holiday season for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So I know in addition to family time, all of us got some gaming time in. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Preston, let's bounce it back to you, man. Tell us what you've been playing with. Let's hear about that Oculus.
Yeah, so got the Oculus, and that was probably most of my holiday gaming, honestly. We played some Fortnite, and one of our friends got banned for some reason on, Call of Duty. So we haven't played Call of Duty lately, and it's a mess.
Yeah, one day we need to have him on and let him air his grievances. Maybe that's how he gets his account back, is that our super popular podcast is where he gets his voice.
Yeah, you better be listening, Activision. Not really, please don't.
Derek,
block us
if you're
somehow.
listening, you get that opportunity. But if you're not listening,
he listens.
You missed out.
He listens to every episode.
Yes.
Shout out Derek.
Shout out Big D.
Shout out Derek. That's like the third time we've shouted him out on our podcast. But yeah, so we haven't been playing that much. But Oculus, amazing. The coolest thing about the Oculus, and we talked about this before we got started recording, is sharing it with people who don't normally play video games and watching them light up. Yes. I think that's so cool. Like, I let my nieces try it and put them in YouTube VR, and they were like looking at dinosaurs and lions, and they thought it was the craziest thing. My father-in-law, who is over 60, I won't state his age completely, tried Beat Maker, and that was amazing.
Beat Maker or Beat Saber?
Beat Saber, sorry. Beat Saber, you're nice. Right. So that was awesome. My wife still has the high score on Beat Saber. None of us can beat her.
Oh, so challenge accepted. I want to come over.
Yeah, come over. I love Super Hot, and Super Hot in VR is even better.
Nice.
I had to download NFL Pro Era, so you're an NFL quarterback, and that's cool. Probably so far for me is the most immersive game and best looking. And then one other one I really loved was Pistol Whip. So it is think of Beat Saber meets shooting. So you have to shoot the targets on beat for the highest points.
Oh, I remember this game.
Yeah. So, and there's a bunch of different styles in the game. So it's like movie posters. And so you can be in the 80s, you can be in the future, and the music correlates with that.
Yeah. So. That's so cool. I love games that equip, like they take other mechanics and put them with rhythm games. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like lately there's been kind of a surge of that with, what was the metal
Hellsinger?
Yeah, like Metal Hellsinger. Yeah. And I referenced the Crypt of the Necrodancer, the Zelda one to you, Houston. There's the Zelda rhythm game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I was a huge proponent of Guitar Hero back in the day. So,
yeah, this one's cool. Yeah, Pistol Whip is probably my favorite, like, fun game.
Yeah, it looks like Super Hot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, Super Hot is probably the best VR game, though, if that makes sense. Like, Pistol Whip is the most fun, but Super Hot is probably the best VR because it's complete 360 experience.
Yeah, it's like a fully immersive traditional VR game.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
There's some pretty great ones out there. Like you should see if you can get like Astrobot and some of those, because I've heard those are amazing.
Wait, isn't Astrobot just?
Oh, it might be. Is it PlayStation?
It's probably just. Yeah, it's probably just PlayStation.
Well, Astro is just PlayStation. Like that character.
Yeah, but there's so few. That would be.
You could try Moss.
Yeah, Game of the Year, right? Or VR Game of the Year.
The second one, Moss 2 was, I think, maybe. Or I've heard Tetris Effect. I know I'm like Tetris, but it's really good. And if you've never played Thumper is really cool.
Is
Okay.
that another rhythm game?
It is a rhythm game, but it's hard to explain. You just gotta play it.
I'll check it out.
You don't have to play that in VR, but I think it's better.
It's better.
Nice.
They call it a rhythm violence game.
We played that one on your PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
I only had the demo when I had my VR.
Yeah. I remember that.
Since played the real one.
Gotcha. So yeah, the VR was a hit for the holidays. Rhett, my son, he's 3. We put him in it once, and he got to see lion cubs, and he was kind of freaked out, to be honest. He was like, because they were so close to him in VR, and so it was kind of funny. But yeah, that was probably the highlight of our gaming, or my gaming for the holidays.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. We've said nice a lot on this podcast. I'm just making that observation, myself included. I probably said it the most.
Lit.
Nice.
Spicy.
That's a spicy. Houston, what have you been playing, man?
So before the break actually started, I actually went through the Forspoken demo, which was...
I've been wanting to hear about this.
just to kind of quell my curiosity, because it does look like a really cool game, and it's Square Enix, and I love a lot of what Square Enix does, so had to try it. The place, it was cool. The place that they put you in the game is kind of just like there's no context, so it just, I don't know. I felt like they could have like guided that a little bit better to kind of like put you into the world and the story just a little bit before kind of just sending you off on these random, like it was really just like a tech demo. Like it wasn't really like a full experience. This is exactly how the game's going to feel, like thematically and gameplay wise, but I did get a pretty good feel for the gameplay. It looks pretty. My biggest complaint though is, besides that, is that it doesn't quite feel like lived in the way that some other games do. It's a really huge map, and you can run kind of fast across it, and like it looks pretty cool. But I just feel like they didn't kind of flesh it out maybe as much as they could have, at least for this demo. I'm only talking about this like 1 hour and 30-minute change.
And demo. The full game isn't even out yet, right? That's later this month.
Correct. Yeah, it's in a couple weeks.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
But the spells are cool. It kind of gave me Witcher vibes a little bit on some of the spell controls. Just a little bit. It's pretty fast paced. You kind of have like these two modes. Like you have like your magic, and then you have like this bracelet that you wear is like sentient, and you have its magic to control, and you can kind of flip flop between them. And then each one of those has its own skill tree that you can kind of use on the fly. The enemies felt very faceless, except for a few mini bosses that they had. Yeah, I really hope that the full game really digs you into the lore a lot more, because it felt kind of just, I don't know, anemic in that sense. But I think there's a lot of potential there, so I'm really curious to see how the reviews come out, because if the game is exactly like the demo, it's probably like a 6.5 or 7 for me. Dang. But if it really takes you into the game, and if it's a bit more polished, it could probably be an 8 or a 9 potentially.
Cool.
So, yeah. So I played that for, like I said, 1 to 2 hours, and then I got a PlayStation gift card for Christmas, which was very nice and generous of my parents. And shout out to my wife for telling people what to get me for Christmas. So that was awesome. But I went ahead and pre-ordered Final Fantasy 16. So speaking of Square Enix again, and I just definitely am going to play that game, so I might as well do it. And then I bought Gotham Knights because it was half off, and I've been talking about how much I wanted to play that game, and I was waiting for another sale, and there it was. So I played. Did you like it? I actually am really enjoying it. I don't see how it got a 5, but maybe that's like when you kind of take the whole thing in and like kind of see it at a 20,000 foot level. Once you've kind of experienced all of it, it might feel a little bit different.
Did you say Arkham Knight? You meant Gotham Knights, or did I not hear right? Okay,
Gotham Knights. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I said Gotham Knights, but it's whatever. But yeah, so I started out as Red Hood because that character just seems kind of like the coolest for me. But then you can switch characters on the fly, essentially. So it goes in like a day-night cycle. So during the day, you're kind of like going through clues and kind of doing detective work in your tower with all the other Gotham Knights. And then during the night, you go on patrol, and then that's where you do missions, and that's where you fight bad guys and stop crimes and all that kind of stuff, where it has like that kind of procedurally generated crime system, kind of like Marvel Spiderman, just a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good. The biggest thing I noticed off the get-go was that it's locked to 30 frames. You can't do a high frame rate mode, which is kind of what I've been used to recently, especially on PS5 with like God of War.
That's what I was about to say. That's weird.
Yeah, so this game, it does feel a little rushed. It's definitely not super buggy, but I feel like that's one of the biggest things that they probably could have improved on. But I think it looks fine. Combat feels pretty decent. Maybe I'm just not seeing the chinks in the armor because I haven't like explored it enough, and I don't know, like, it hasn't gotten repetitive to me yet. So we'll see. But I'm enjoying it so far.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it looked cool.
It does look super cool. And that they just added a 4-player co-op mission mode. So previously they released it with a 2-player kind of, you can just do the whole game 2-player if both players have a copy of the game, but the 4-player mode is like for special missions.
That's one of those games that, like, I anticipate playing. I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I might just wait till that comes on a service or something, but I will definitely jump into it eventually. It just might be a year, you know?
It definitely feels like it's worth $20-$30. I don't know about 70, but
yeah.
I mean, if it ever goes less than half, then I'd say jump on it. I think it's definitely worth that, even from the 2 or 3 hours that I played.
We're definitely in an era where like there's just so many games all coming out, and they're never short games. It's not like these are like we're getting hit with, especially this year, we're going to be hit with a lot of heavy hitters. We're going to talk about more of that later, but it's tough to be like, I know the games on my immediate list and I know the games coming. I'm like, I just don't know if I would get to that. Even if it was like $5, I just don't know if I would jump into it now.
Yeah, totally feel that. My backlog is definitely gigantic, and there's probably some games that I've only spent 1 or 2 hours on that I fully intended to, and most of those are coming through the PlayStation Plus system. So I don't feel too bad for missing out on some of those. But usually when I buy a game, it's like, okay, I'm going to commit 10, 15 hours to this, just try to get through the bulk of it and then kind of move on. But enough about me. Andy, what did you play?
Well, I like I said, I went out of town, so I didn't have my PlayStation with me or anything, but I did have my Switch. And so Noah for Christmas, both of my boys are more into Pokemon than anything else in the world. And so Noah got from his grandma, he got Pokemon Violet and was pumped to get it. Well, then when we got to Kansas City and we did Christmas, he got Pokemon Scarlet as well. So he ended up he got both. And so I said, you know what? I haven't played a Pokemon game legitimately since Pokemon Yellow, and I jumped into shortly because it's basically the same game but like revisualized. Let's Go Pikachu. That game is Pokemon Yellow, just remade basically.
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it. I never really even did the new generations of Pokemon very much, so I jumped into Pokemon Scarlet. I've been playing that in Kansas City, and my initial thoughts, honestly, are that game still, despite it has the open world feel, and that's pretty cool. And yes, it's buggy. We talked about that on a previous episode. That is accurate. It's buggy, but it's the kind of game where it's like, I'm not even really like, even if it wasn't buggy, it's not even visually breathtaking. Like, it's just Pokemon. It's just this game. So I don't know if I even care too much about that when it happens, because it never, like, my game's not crashing, which is good. But I do still kind of feel like I'm like, yeah, the mechanics of this game could still be more advanced, be more interesting. It still feels for kids, which is great because Noah loves it. And maybe if I get deeper into it and keep going, it'll get more advanced. I still almost feel the vibe of like every time a Pokemon wants to learn a new move, I'm like, well, I just want the moves that do a lot of damage. Like if I get a move and it's like raise your defense up, I'm like, yeah, but if I take a whole turn to raise my defense up, they're going to hit me again. Like, I don't feel like taking a turn to do that has enough of a payoff. So it's just every match is two Pokemon whacking the crap out of each other as hard as they can. And when my enemy like raises its defense, I'm like, cool, good. Now I'm not taking damage and I can kill you in the next turn. Like, congratulations. Like, you did something that had no effect basically. And so like, in that sense, there's just times where I'm like, I don't even feel like I'm making creative decisions. Like, and it's not difficult to play. I don't know. Turn-based games are weird. I think turn-based games need to be, like, I remember as a kid, like Final Fantasy Tactics, and there are other really good turn-based games. I've been thinking lately, like, I wanted to buy Marvel Midnight Suns really bad because I was like, oh, it looks so fun. Like, that looks like a turn-based game that I would really, and it's tactics. It's not just turn-based. And so, but I didn't end up buying it. I hope that game, that's the game that when it goes down in price, I will jump into. I'm just not for $70, And
these games are expensive nowadays.
Man, these hoes,
games
man.
are so expensive.
You ain't lying. But yeah, and then I'm continuing to play Hearthstone. So March of the Lich King was an expansion that came out in December. I got back into Hearthstone in the spring. And the way Hearthstone works is that you can only the main mode of the game is only the last 2 years worth of cards. And so in the spring I decided, you know what, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to play. And now that I've been playing since spring, this upcoming spring, they're going to phase out a whole year's worth of cards that I don't have. And so like I'm starting to have all the current cards, and it's getting more and more fun to play because I can play all the different things and try it out because I've stuck with it for a little while. And so I really enjoy it. This is a fun expansion. They added a new playable character, and it's on my phone. So it's super convenient. And I understand why people get frustrated or don't like that game. And I think honestly, if you're trying to play competitively, it probably is frustrating, but I don't play it for that reason. I just have fun. I think it's really fun to play. So been doing a lot of that. And then when I got back, the game I got for Christmas is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Ooh, nice.
So I played one good session of that. So
doesn't it look incredible?
Yes. So my only thing out the gate that would be a negative, and this isn't a negative criticism, is that it's very similar to me to the one that came out in like 2015.
16. Yeah. That was the remake of the first one.
Yeah. Great game. So fun. I loved it. It was a short experience though, and I wanted more. Well, this is the more, and it's great. It's so fun. And
it's more with a bit more polish.
And there are some mechanics that are new, like pulling the rifts is the weirdest way to travel long distances. And I've never played a game like it, especially like if you're in the middle of a fight and you're doing that, it's so bizarre, trippy.
I need to replay that one because I got it right when it came out because that was like my first like PS5 exclusive title.
Yeah. And
I 100% at that game.
Oh, man. Well, if you want to replay it, that just shows how good it is. Great game. Super. It's so good for kids, and it's just got so much variety, and it's not too hard. It's pretty easy, at least where I am now.
It's very quote unquote fun. Like it's a very video game, and it's yeah.
And I'm upgrading the shotgun, and it just wrecks people. You just get close to them, and bam.
I absolutely love games where they have a really good upgrade system like that, where it's like one gun that starts off kind of weak and then it just destroys everything by the end of the game.
Yeah, and I like that it upgrades too as you use them. So there's incentive. It incentivizes you to try to not always just stick with one. And then I really like too. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, man, it's just really, really fun. And I don't know. I want to keep playing. And I'm sure it's not a very long game. Would you say it's probably not too long, huh?
The main story is probably like 15 to 20 hours. Maybe.
Yeah. It's nothing like
Elden Ring.
It might be a little. Oh, yeah, Elden Ring. It's probably a little longer than 15, 20, but not much.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, man, I definitely highly recommend. I also love too the controller integration is very interesting. A lot of moves have like half pull the trigger and it does this, full pull the trigger and it does something else. It's really taking advantage of the PlayStation controller, which not a lot of games do. And I think as a launch game, it emphasized that, and it's really cool.
Agreed. That's a very cool system.
Yeah. And then one more game I wanted to just shout out. I haven't been necessarily playing too much of, but I've been watching a lot of gameplay, and I did start it up now that I have an Xbox. Was High on Life?
Yeah, that one looks hilarious.
Have you guys at least watched any of it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I watched the reviews and then a little bit of gameplay.
Dude, what's hilarious is there's so many they make you kill people or do things, and then when you do it, they make fun of you, and they're like, how could they try to make you feel guilty? The dialogue is one of the best dialogues in a video game ever. It's great.
I saw something, and this isn't too much of a spoiler because it's not necessarily about the game, but somebody went a certain way, and the game was like, you're trying to speed run, aren't you? We like speed runs. You better get a world record.
That's incredible how self-aware it is. Yeah.
It'll if you pause the game and then come back from pause, it'll be like, where have you been? Why did you pause the game? How could you do this?
It's probably the most. Yeah.
They're mad that you paused, and that's funny.
Yeah, I saw that clip. It's hilarious. But yeah, this is probably the most self-aware game ever made.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Well, and the main character's the gun.
Yeah, the main characters are the guns. It's hilarious.
I highly recommend too looking up. IGN did a review of the game, and they score it at the end. Just look that clip up because it's really funny.
And watch to the end.
The game, again, to your credit, you just said it's self-aware. It tells them basically like, you can knock a few points off the game. It's got some bugs and flaws. We get it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
They even at one point try to say, we intentionally put the bugs in the game, so therefore you can't knock points off for it because we put it in on purpose.
Yeah.
Bugs are a feature.
Oh man. Is that game only on Xbox right now?
No, but it's free on the Xbox.
Okay, that's what it is.
Game Pass.
On Game Pass.
It's just free on Game Pass. And so I think that's probably where Game Pass has my heart the most is, yes, Xbox exclusives come to Game Pass usually day one. But then there's a lot of not exclusives that come day one too. And that's where you're like, oh crap, I was going to get that game anyway. Like that's what makes Game Pass to me, like that's the tip of the iceberg that makes it worth getting the most.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to at least pick up that game. Like I just hold it and demo it for a little bit, either on your system or just however I can get my hands on it. But it looks really cool. One quick thing on gamer sort of related news before we get into our main topic. Something that I'm personally excited about. The Last of Us HBO series comes out in 2 weeks or less than. It's we're currently recording on January 3rd. The episode will probably come out a little later than this. And so, yeah, it'll be like a week and some change when that series comes out. So I don't know about you guys, but seeing the few trailers, all the promo materials, knowing that Pedro Pascal is playing Joel, knowing that Nick Offerman's in it, that the guy that voices Joel, Troy Baker, is also in the series at some point doing something. He hasn't revealed who his character is. That has me super excited. And I think the girl that plays Ellie is from Game of Thrones, right?
Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, she's...
Is she in House of the Dragon or the main Game of Thrones?
No, she's in the main Game of Thrones series. So she is one of like, I'm not going to go into the details, but she's just a great character. She's like a young girl who's the leader of the house of the big village that they're from. And like, she's just a hilarious character.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Game of Thrones series, so I didn't recognize her at first, but then I learned about that. I was like, oh, okay, like they got somebody with like some serious like screen time and acting clout, so that's cool.
They both came on the Game Awards too. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so I didn't watch the entire thing, so I didn't see that, but I am a big Mandalorian Pedro Pascal fan, so.
So there's only 6 episodes, which is awesome.
Yeah, but the first one is 90 minutes long almost.
Yeah, so we're going to get...
It says 85 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
if I remember.
Are they doing like a part 1, part 2 thing? This is just the first game or part of the first game?
I believe it's the first game because it's Joel and Ellie, so it's definitely the first game.
I guess what I mean is like, are they telling the first game over several seasons? Like, is it going to be 3 seasons to tell the first game story?
I would imagine they're greenlit for at least 2 seasons, but that's just a guess. But I don't know how far they're into the story they're getting.
I bet they don't finish the first game by the end of this season.
No, I would imagine not. Only 6 episodes, even if they're long, I don't think it's enough time for what they seem like they're trying to do.
Wait, another site says 9 episodes. I don't know then.
Okay, well there you go. Well, we'll see. You know, it could end there, and they might go into season 2 if it's popular, or part 2, like the game, if it's popular. But yeah, we'll see.
I am excited about that.
Definitely.
So many great shows coming out.
Yes. And we can maybe touch on that a little bit later. But this is a gaming podcast, first and foremost. So let's get into what we're excited about in gaming for the year 2023. This is going to be pretty informal, but I think we all kind of made like a short list of games that we at least wanted to kind of touch on and say like, hey, we're excited about this. And then maybe 1 or 2 of each that we can kind of go into a little bit more depth about why we're excited, what's going to be different, what isn't going to be different, what might suck, what might be good. But Preston,
and it's okay to like, if we don't know, like some of these they said it's coming out this year, but we're not.
It's just an announcement. That's it.
But I mean, full disclaimer: a lot of the games we're talking about now could totally be delayed. I mean, this is the era of limited delays.
Yeah, anything short of like going past Q1 is probably like totally up for grabs for going into 2024. So
Correct.
I would say even Q1, they could be like, it's not. I mean, that's what happened. What was that game? The pirate game? That like
Skull and Bones?
Dude, it was supposed to come out in November, and then they were like, "Nah, we're not." Like the month
Wasn't
of
it supposed to come out last year, like in 2021?
Originally,
like
it was, and then they were the same weekend as God of War, and then they were like, "You know what? Maybe not."
Oh, okay. So yeah, 2022. Never mind. But yeah, so Preston, why don't you go and kick us off? Maybe give us like one game that you're like really excited about, and then like one or two more that you like kind of are interested in.
Stick to top three. Maybe we each say three, and then at the end we can kind of list our like extras.
Honorable mentions. Got it.
So I think probably I'll start with the one that I'm looking forward to the most. Crime Boss, Rockay City, or however you say it.
Nice. That's top of your list now.
Of like looking forward to to see what it is. There's so many great characters and however, and I almost pulled the trigger today. It's only coming on PC first, so they're not
on boot camp.
Yeah, so I almost bought a PC today actually.
When you say first, what do you mean? Like a week delay?
I don't know. No, I don't. They don't have a date for
And exclusive. Interesting.
for PlayStation, but March 28th was PC.
They're probably just having to pare it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
interesting.
anyways,
it's exclusive for Epic Game Store specifically too. It's an Epic Games thing.
Well, I guess Preston's getting a gaming PC.
I guess I'm getting it. No, but PlayStation. No, PlayStation. It's on their site.
Yeah, it says those wishing to play the game on. This is from Inverse. Wanting to play on consoles. We'll have to wait till later in 2023, but there's no specific date.
Right. Okay. So that one looks awesome. I'm really excited about that. I think all the characters. I think it'll hold me over till GTA 6. As kind of a fun game. Another one I'm really looking forward to. It's hard for me to put these in order because I am looking forward to all of these. Dead Island 2. I enjoyed the first one.
That's how old is that? Is it like 07, 08?
Yeah, it's an older game. Yeah,
like PS3 era.
I played it within the last 10 years.
2011.
That's old. So late PS3 then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even out on Mac OS. Like you could literally.
Do you guys remember there was like an incredible cinematic trailer for that game?
In reverse.
It was in reverse the whole time. It was. I remember that's what sold it on me. I was like, that was
the first one. Yeah.
It was really good storytelling, and you're like almost heartbreaking because like it finally ends up in like it's just you just got to see it. It's so good.
A family. Yeah.
But then you can put on a giant Lego head and have a dual wielded chainsaw pole arm.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
kind of got that like so you know how zombie games can get silly sometimes. It's just it has that.
That had the most silliness.
Well, I don't feel like it had as much as Dead or Alive or not. Is that it?
What's the one where you're the guy and you can be like in the mall and like
Left 4 Dead? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
I'm thinking of something different then. What is that game? Is that like, Preston, do you know? It's the one where like you can like craft weapons on the go and like you're in a mall for the most part.
Are you not thinking of Left 4 Dead?
That might be it, but anyway, let's move on.
I know which one you're talking about.
I'll look it up while y'all are.
Dead Rising.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that one was much more ridiculous than the Dead Island game. But Dead Island did get a little silly.
Dead Island, I really like Dead Island.
It's not
the other
island,
thing,
though.
But okay, so I learned this. Speaking of Crime Boss being only on Epic, I found out the other day that you can basically try Epic Games. So you can get a full refund within 14 days if you play it under 2 hours.
That's Steam's policy as well.
Oh, well, hot damn. So something cool. Yeah.
They don't let you do it unlimited. So like you can't just like
I know.
constantly play under 2 hours with all these games.
Yeah.
But they're pretty generous with it. They're
Another one that probably maybe our listeners will like, I don't know. AEW Fight Forever, made by THQ, coming out this year. I'm super excited about that. Their whole thing and all of their marketing has been, you used to love playing wrestling games. This is bringing that feeling back. So hopefully something cool. I mean, it's Ukes and THQ, so I'm going to hope for the best because those were all the best wrestling games growing up.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see between the Ukes game, which is AEW, and 2K's game. Like 2K released a pretty good wrestling game. And like the last one, I mean. And so it'll be interesting to see like who's better, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of very similar to like Callisto Protocol and Dead Space. And Callisto Protocol ended up not being very good. And so we'll see with, I hope AEW is awesome because I know you like them.
Yeah, I hope it's good too. And the next one would be Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That one looks fun. And I feel like that's going to be like next gen. It's next gen only, I believe, in PC. So going to look great, play great, hopefully.
Love to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're in this season now of like exclusive
actual next gen games. Yeah,
and it's Rocksteady. They've got they make good games, man. It's going to be fun.
Yep, I'm super excited. And then the last one, which I've already pre-ordered, is Hogwarts.
You pre-ordered that one too?
I don't normally pre-order games, but
look at this guy. Look at this official gamer.
All these pre-order. I used to be the one that was known for doing all that.
Yeah, and then you jinxed us. So
I don't do it anymore, man. I don't pre-order. I haven't pre-ordered anything since Cyberpunk. I have not pre-ordered a game.
I pre-ordered God of War. That was only like 2 weeks early, though.
I didn't do it. I bought it after it came out. And the reviews were just raving, and I was like, cool. Everyone loves the game. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that one turns out. I don't know if I'll buy it launch day, but...
Yeah, so I won't say that as part of my 3, but Hogwarts is probably one of my most anticipated games of the year, period. I'm extremely excited. Like, I even went on to the, like, I'm not normally, like, this kind of a Harry Potter fan, but they had the, like, you could go to their fan page and do the whole, like, sorting hat thing, like, ahead of time. And like,
oh really?
And then you can load that information into the game. And I was like, I'm doing it. And so like, I did it. And like, so now you don't have to, like, if you don't like what got picked for you, you don't have to stick with it. But I'm excited. I kind of want to play, like, if they'll let me play an evil character, I kind of want to try. Like, I like some games like that. And I think the Harry Potter universe, I think playing the dark arts magic could be really fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of obviously even like getting a little geeky with it. Like, wanting to role play and everything, but
being a dark side wizard,
dude, I don't know. It seems like a game that could be really fun. Gosh, I hope it's good. I feel like of any game on my list that I'm excited for, that's the one that I would be so let down if it was bad. Yeah, I'd be so bummed if it was bad.
Yeah, because we haven't had like a really solid Harry Potter game in like ever.
I mean, other than
there's ever been like a truly good one.
I thought the only ones that really exist are the Lego ones. They're good, but they're Lego games.
They had a couple of the really crappy like licensed movie ones though when the movies first came out that were pretty terrible as well. But yeah, the Lego Harry Potter ones are those are pretty solid.
I think there was a Quidditch game at some point.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I remember that one.
I really hope it's great, man. I want to play it. But all the gameplay I've watched them like show off actual gameplay. They actually is a lot of gameplay you can watch. So that's a good sign in my opinion.
Is that WB Montreal?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely WB, right, but I don't know exactly who it is. It's Portkey Games, I think, is the name of the company.
Huh. So they only do Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah, obviously.
It's funny. That's cool. What else is on your list, man?
So that was. Preston, were you done? Sorry, I know you mentioned.
I got everything.
Okay, cool. So for me, I was going to say Hogwarts would have been my top 3. Probably my most anticipated game of the year is Hollow Knight Silksong. That's number 1 for me. The first Hollow Knight is so good, and I know you tried it, Houston, and didn't love it, but I just think the mystery and the puzzles behind it and how big the map truly is, like... I love how deep you can go with that game, and the hidden passages get next level.
I'll probably grant that I'm wrong on that, but we are where we are. if you love those games, more power to you, man.
But I love it. And so I cannot wait. And I think the new movesets with being able to play as Hornet, which is a character in that game, as opposed to playing as the Hollow Knight character from the first game, I think it's going to be really interesting and cool. And it's a prequel, so you kind of like find out why the kingdom is in ruins at the beginning of the first game. Like that sounds really interesting to me. Probably second for me is going to be Star Wars Jedi Survivor, man. It looks really cool. I loved the first Star Wars game, though at times it did feel a bit like almost like I don't want to say prototype. Like it was a solid game, and I really, really liked it. But I think that they kind of needed a first game to build upon to make a great game. And I think this is their chance. And the trailer looked really awesome. It didn't show a lot of gameplay, but it showed enough to show quite a bit of variation and some different things going on. And it still looks like you can still only decapitate robots when I want to decapitate people, but whatever. That sounds that sounds dark.
Whoa.
Like I'm wanting to do dark magic and Harry Potter.
Sith and training over here.
I'm ready to go. That looks really great. And then third for me is probably, I don't know. I probably would say Diablo 4 would probably be third for me.
Okay. Interesting choice.
I think, and I kind of mentioned these to you guys before the podcast, and for anyone listening out there and you're like, I'll jump in. Like I would love to really experience a Diablo at launch with other people where we play, maybe not every night, but like multiple nights.
As often as Preston plays Fortnite.
Yeah, like multiple nights a week and like really grow together. Or the way people play Destiny and they go on raids on a Saturday night or whatever. Like it'd be so fun to like jump into trying to like grow our characters together and it's more fun to play those games with people. They just are. Like I think every time I've ever tried a Diablo, like I'm always playing solo and it starts to get a little repetitive, and I don't know if I love it as much as when I play with people. People makes that game fun to me.
Yeah, I feel that. I was going to say I'd actually probably be inclined to join you in that. That one does look pretty cool to me, and I do really enjoy like the Gauntlet games. I have since like N64 arcade era. So yeah, I'd love like the top down, like multiplayer, like multi-class kind of thing going on.
Well, I already know my friend Michael and Derek, who we talked about earlier, both are really into that game. So maybe if they hear this too, we could even get up to 4. And what's cool about this one too, is I think they're going to make it very much where like, let's say someone out levels, you can still play together. Like the game will scale you appropriately so you can still get items and do whatever you need to do. So you don't have to like, if you don't fall behind, which is I think going to be really important for me as a dad and for everyone listening right now who's a dad, that like that sucks when like, oh, if I don't play as much as you guys, I just can't play anymore with you.
Yeah, you get punished. Yeah.
Then
Destiny was like that.
Then at that point you're like, I don't even want to do it then. Like I'm not even going to pursue this. So I'm going to give it a legitimate shot. I think it looks really cool. And just the synergy between the players. That's what makes it fun. A quick a few shout outs for me. I want to say Armored Core 6, but I've never played an Armored Core. But now that I'm such a FromSoft fan, and this is a weird one for me. So Armored Core 6, there was a quote by PC Gamer during I think it was while we were off for the holidays. Tyler Wilde at PC Gamer said that Armored Core 6 won't play like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. FromSoft President Hidetaka Miyazaki said there's been no conscious effort to try to direct Armored Core 6 towards more Soulsborne type gameplay. While the knowledge from software gained creating the Dark Fantasy hits has gone into Armored Core 6's development, it's really all about assembling and customizing your own mech, he said. So I can't really, I don't think, attribute what I like about the Dark Souls and you know, like what I really loved about Elden Ring specifically, that I'm going to necessarily like this game. But I'm going to give it a shot because I know it's just when you know the developer has clout, like you're like, I'm going to try it because you're an amazing developer. Like I should give it a shot. I feel very similar about Starfield, which, by the way, Starfield just got confirmed is coming out during the first half of 2023. That was kind of on the fence for a little bit, but for anyone listening, you're excited. It's coming. Starfield's the same way. I am super on the fence about it as a game that I don't know if I'm going to love. I'm just not that into, for the same reason about Armored Core, about like sim. Like I'm not like, if I want to play a racing game, I'm playing Forza Horizon, not Forza Motorsport, where you're like tweaking all the, that's not really what I'm into as much. Starfield kind of has this semi vibe to it where is it really Skyrim, but in space, or is it more like you're building settlements in space and you're upgrading your ship and doing I just don't know if that's really what I'm looking for, but it's Bethesda and I really have a lot of appreciation for most Bethesda games. So I'm going to give it a shot and it's on Game Pass day one. So why not? And the only other, I'll just quickly mention, Atomic Heart and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Both of those look kind of cool and both on Game Pass day one. So why would I not give those a shot? I'm looking forward to them. Wolong is like a Soulsborne, set in Japan. It looks cool. A little faster pace. And then Atomic Heart is this crazy, Bioshock looking game where you're shooting, but you also have powers with electricity or different things in a very I want to say cyberpunk dystopia, but it looks more like almost apocalyptic cyberpunk, which I guess that's what cyberpunk already is a little bit. But anyway, so obviously so many games. But yeah, the ones I really know I'm looking forward to are Hollow Knight and Star Wars and Hogwarts.
Nice.
Very, very cool. A lot of good stuff there. So for me, my number one's got to be, just because it is my number one game, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's just an obvious one for me because Breath of the Wild is my number one game, and this is the direct sequel, and it's going to be on Switch. And from the brief trailer, it does look really, really cool. They made the game a whole lot more vertical. There's some wishy-washy, timey-wimey stuff going on.
I forgot to mention that one, but I was waiting for you to mention it. That's
sure,
100% top of my list.
Yeah.
Same as I was letting Preston say Suicide Squad. That's also a top of my list game. You guys were mentioning it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think you're more excited for Zelda than I am. So I was letting you have it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to suck. I don't think it possibly can suck. So, yeah, just definitely excited for that. Can't wait to see more. I'm super excited to see actually what this whole long-haired feral Link with the crazy cybernetic arm thing or mystical runic arm thing has going on. I think there's going to be a time travel aspect. I think there's going to be maybe a torn dimension aspect to it. Would be kind of cool.
Do you think it's going to be more Breath of the Wild with just a few extra mechanics, or do you think they will to me, Nintendo is all about it's not just the same game with a little bit more. It's a lot different. Do you think it'll be a lot different?
I think it's going to be visually, it looks almost identical. They showed a lot of the same gameplay mechanics, so it will be more of the same, but better. I do think, mechanically, I think it'll be more sound. And I do think they'll add new things, but what I do think they're going to do for the twist is that the mechanics are going to be the twist. That what they add to it mechanically will be I never even thought you could do something like that. Because
the game was already like that. The first game was like that.
Yeah, the game was definitely you can do that? There's no rules. There's going to be even there's going to be more rules and less rules at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and the verticality will add a lot, I think, to the game.
Yeah, because they added Skyward Sword, skydiving mechanic back into it, so that's super interesting as well. Or to a much further extreme, because you could technically not skydive, but you could jump from very high heights and then paraglide. So yeah, super duper excited to lose a lot of sleep over that game. Next has got to be Final Fantasy 16 because, like I said, I already pre-ordered it. I'm a big Final Fantasy guy. Mm-hmm. This one looks really cool. They went medieval with it, which is kind of something they haven't done in a hot minute. That was kind of a callback to some of the older games before 7.
Yeah, but with kaiju.
Well, so no, the summons have always been there. Since some of the first games. Like Final Fantasy, that's like one of their big tropes is the summons, or what you're referring to as the kaiju, like these giant celestial beings that you can summon, and they do like War of the Monsters type thing. But that's been in almost every single Final Fantasy mainline game from the beginning. So they've always been called like Titans or Summons or Eidolons, or there's always a different name for it, but they're always the same thing. There's always Ifrit, and there's always Shiva, and there's always Bahamut, and like these different like god names and stuff that are all elementally based. But it seems more centered around that and more of this like War of the Kingdoms, and these kingdoms are powered by these giant crystals, and they're protected by these Titans. So we'll see where it goes, but it seems very, very, very large scale, epic, like no holds. It seems it's also, I think it's one of the first ones that's been rated M, which is interesting. So it's gonna be like gorier than they usually are.
It's rated M? I didn't know that.
I believe so. I think it already has its rating. They definitely showed like blood, like way more blood than has ever been in like a Final Fantasy to my knowledge. But it's either been rated M or it's been rumored to be rated M.
What?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16, this is from clutchpoints.com. I don't know that, but it says it gets mature rating, has drugs, sex, and hate crimes.
Whoa. Oh, God.
The hate crimes one is like, whoa.
Hold on to your butts.
That's crazy.
It's Final Fantasy, and it's like Japanese art styles and stuff. So like they've always been kind of like very sexualized in some aspects, but like it's never been like outright just like sexual acts kind of thing. So that'd be very interesting take for them as well. So definitely not for your kids, not your kids' Final Fantasy game.
It's the first one to ever have an M, a first mainline game.
There we go. So for all of those reasons, I'm very excited. And then for number 3, it's probably Spider-Man 2, because that is one of the only other games that I've 100%ed and gotten the platinum on.
Wow, you have how many platinums do you have, Houston?
Just the two Insomniac games. We just happen to mention them both.
I think I'm really close in God of War. I should push through.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to, but that game is chewy.
Thick.
It's thick with a Q. But yeah, so Spider-Man 2, you can play as it seems like you'd be led to believe that you can play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Maybe there's some co-op action going on there. That would be so cool.
You think you think there'll be a
I don't know if there's actually going to be co-op, but there's going to be like you're playing with one of the other Spider-Mans, or maybe fast switching.
Do you think maybe symbiote Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, because Venom's in this one, right?
Venom is in it.
Venom is one of my all-time favorite comic book characters.
I would love to see a symbiote Spider-Man, like especially if it's a different symbiote. So it's like you have a symbiote and there's Venom. That would be really cool.
Yes. Very, very excited about that. And there's also Kraven the Hunter is one of the big characters, which I'm not really familiar with. So I'm interested to learn more about him. And it just, Insomniac just knocked it out the freaking park harder than like almost any other developer has with that game.
Can we just say too, a trailer that I am so anxious to see is the Wolverine trailer. Come on. Where's that?
Just that little tease.
I know the game might not come out this year, but I just want to see more of the game. Like I just want to see a trailer.
So it's rumored to come out this year.
No.
So that's one. Yeah. So it was something to do with the Microsoft, I forget what it was, that the whole like defamation thing between like PlayStation whining about like Microsoft having monopoly over Call of Duty or something like that. And then part of those reports, like somebody data mined it and they said like they found something on Wolverine coming out this year. It's like, hey, you have this game. So I remember something being said about Wolverine coming out in 2023, and we discussed it maybe like 5-6 episodes ago.
Oh,
it's a rumor.
I'm seeing a lot of 2024 and the rumors.
That's probably more likely, I would imagine. I'm not holding my breath for 2023, but it would be a cool surprise.
Yeah, honestly, if both of those games were coming out this year, I think I'm more excited for Wolverine just because it's new, it's more fresh.
And Insomniac just did announce that fall 2023 is the Spider-Man 2 release, so I don't think 2023 is going to be the Wolverine year just based on that.
It'll be interesting because it's like one of the main things that makes Spider-Man fun is the traversal, right? Well, Wolverine just doesn't have that. So
I think it's going to be more of an on-rails, like Uncharted style game with way better combat.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I like what keeps a game like that. Maybe it's a shorter experience game too. Because that's also the question is like, how can they possibly be developing both of those games simultaneously? And maybe the answer is that Wolverine is more like a $40 experience.
Might be a Miles Morales kind of situation. Because Miles Morales and Rift Apart came out the same year. That's both Insomniac, or within the same 12-month span.
Yeah, that's true.
They were both technically launch titles for PlayStation 5.
It's true. But Miles Morales was more similar to like Insomniac did in not Injustice. What was that game called? The one with the fire powers. In something. Infamous. Thank you.
Second Son.
Well, they did Infamous Second Son, which is a big game, and then they did First Light, which was basically the same game with new skins, new powers, but it was small and it was cheap. And they didn't call it DLC; they made it standalone, but it was like $30 or $40. Well, to me, Miles Morales was the exact same concept for Spider-Man. Full Spider-Man game, smaller Miles Morales game, but they just used the bones and everything they had used from Spider-Man to do that.
It was just as good though.
But they can't. But obviously, aspects. Wolverine, they can't do that. Wolverine is not going to be similar to Spider-Man. So it's like
I'm going to call it now. I think it's going to be more of an on-rails, like not brawler, but action game that has a way more heavy cinematic feel to it, kind of like a God of War, Uncharted, but no open world kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There might be some big time hops because he's like very old, which would be kind of cool. But I think tonally they're probably going to make it feel like Logan. The movie.
Oh, like mature? No, I don't think it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be heavier.
I think it'll be darker material, but it won't be like old Wolverine. It'll be right. That's not what you mean.
No. Like just like totally.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
I could see the fight combat too, just because of the way he fights being a little bit not like heavy Soulsy, more like the way the Star Wars game was Soulsy, like where it was that kind of like. Important to do timing and dodges and parries and different things and like counters with your like I think there could be a fun combat system that's just a little bit different than the Spider-Man one.
I think it's gonna be gory.
Yeah, I think it kind of has to be. Mm-hmm. It might be mature. Yeah. I could see that.
I don't see it being anything but mature.
Yeah, I mean, like all the at least standalone Wolverine movies are PG-13 at least, if not mature.
But the Insomniac doesn't normally do mature games.
They don't. But I mean, it's definitely there's a market for it.
Did you know even in the Spider-Man games, if you kick a guy off the building, you may not be noticing it, but every time you do it, Spider-Man will like flick out a web and stick him to the side of the building. And if you go back around to the side of the building, he's stuck. You didn't kill him.
Yep.
Spider-Man, you never kill anyone in that.
That's like the Arkham games. You don't kill anybody either. It's all, you just knock them out.
Yep.
Batman doesn't kill people. So real quick, a few honorable mentions. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is part 2 of the remake. I'm super excited about that. I also did miss Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core
Word Salad.
The reunion. Yeah, so it was one of the most successful Final Fantasy like PSP games that they remade, which was a tangential game to Final Fantasy VII, which is their biggest franchise out of all of them. And so they made all these weird tangential games, that one being the best. But they upped it to like remakes style of like action RPG kind of thing. So I need to pick that up. Another one, Assassin's Creed Mirage, because I am an Assassin's Creed fan loosely. So that one does look cool. We talked about that.
Yeah, that's the one that goes back to the like core mechanics of the old Assassin's Creeds, right?
I think so, yeah. And it's based in not Egypt. Where was it?
No, it's Baghdad.
Okay.
I'm weird about Assassin's Creed, and we kind of did talk about this, but like I think I like the new RPG-ish style more. But I would be willing to try the old style again.
Yeah, we were talking about how we were opposites. I like the more stealthy ones.
I do. I like stealth games though. So like, yeah, you know what? I'm in with you. I might give that one a shot.
Yeah. So it'd be fun. 2 more real quick ones. Pikmin 4, because I've really enjoyed all the Pikmin games so far.
Nice.
And Pragmata, just because it's a mystery and it's
Have no
has a
idea.
spaceman with a girl that's not wearing a spacesuit, and they're like in the air and it's floating, and the
Space
trailers. It's just Spaceman.
Space
Why not?
Cowboy.
Yes.
It's
Space
Elon's
Cowboys,
game.
Pragmata. Yes. It's going to be SpaceX the game. Pragmata, you heard it here first, folks.
Can't wait.
Anything else? Any other honorable mentions? Any kind of little small ones that we may have missed here or there?
No, I mean, there's so many games. Preston, did you have anything that we were talking
Not
about that you were interested in?
I definitely Spider-Man. I think
cool.
the other two were awesome. Assassin's Creed just seems like the same game over and over to me every year or every.
It's been Call of Duty-fied.
Yeah.
I mean, they've definitely slowed down lately. Like,
yeah, they did.
What's the one?
Valhalla.
Valhalla came out like 3 years ago.
That was a launch title for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5.
It's been a minute. That was 2020, and it's 2023 now.
Yep.
Boom.
Wow. Welcome to 2023.
Welcome.
It really just did feel like 2020 was like 3 years long.
I mean, it kind of was.
And here we are on the other side.
Oh, God. You know what's really cool? So earlier I talked about my my Southwest craziness. Well, today I got an email. They gave me like a stupid amount of like Southwest points, and enough to book my
taking
whole
us to Hawaii.
no, enough to book my whole family on a trip somewhere. And I was like,
Nice.
well, shoot, we gotta. So now, whatever, I gotta do something this year.
Yeah, they messed something up for us a while back too, and we each got like $150 worth of vouchers, like each person in my family, which was kind of nice.
Oh, dang. Nice.
It's like a one-way flight somewhere for all of us.
Yeah, I was thinking I might do like Mexico, or I might save the points for when we go to Disney World, and we'll just fly instead of drive.
There you go. That's a good idea. Word. Yeah, I think that's
pretty much it.
That's pretty much it for what we are excited for. It's been announced so far that we think is coming out in 2023. a lot of qualifiers there.
I mean, don't you guys think
Asterisk.
if all those games come out, don't you think this is going to be one of the most stacked years?
It'll be a banger for sure.
Like,
I was hearing some other podcasts talk about that. This is going to be a banger of a year if all these games come to fruition.
and this is important to say,
Even
like,
if part of them do, it's going to be an awesome year.
And we only made lists of games we're excited for. Like,
Right.
there are so many more games that aren't on my list that are still, and that maybe, and we haven't even counted what hasn't been announced. There surely will be a dozen or so, maybe more games that are, hey, we're coming out in 3 months. Like indies mostly. Most major releases don't do that.
Let me go through this Polygon list and just kind of just rattle off a couple of random ones that I think might be interesting. So this month we got Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden. We got Dead Space, which we didn't even touch.
Dead Space, yeah.
Barely.
Some people were really disappointed that the Callisto Protocol wasn't very good, apparently. And so, now they're really excited for Dead Space.
Yeah. There's a new Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Engage, for Nintendo Switch. So what else? We got PlayStation VR 2 just straight up comes out in February.
Yeah, along with a really big VR game. What's the call? Horizon, Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain, yeah, okay, yeah. We got Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch as well. We have Octopath Traveler 2. I know that one's pretty big. We have Destiny 2 Lightfall. This is all in February. We have
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones, there it is. Bayonetta Origins, I know there's a pretty big Bayonetta fan base. A System Shock remake.
Dude, Resident Evil 4, no one even brought that up.
Oh, I'm not a spooky game.
Me either.
Guy.
Again, that's what I mean. But as far as releases go, that's a big release.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Suicide Squad, we talked about that one. Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16.
Forza, I mentioned that.
Summer's stacked, bro.
Minecraft Legends, a full-on mainline Minecraft game outside of the normal,
Nice. Street Fighter 6 in June for all you fighting game fans. Baldur's Gate 3, which is, isn't that another kind of Diablo-like type game?
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Okay, that's probably an oversimplification from what I barely know about it, so apologies.
Redfall comes out this year by Bethesda.
Yeah, that one actually did seem kind of cool. a vampire hunter, like Left 4 Dead style game, right?
Yeah. Oh, I want to shout out this game specifically. Stalker 2 was the game that is developed in Ukraine, which they had to postpone. I definitely, especially with all the Ukraine things going on, if you are interested in that style of game, you definitely check it out. It's definitely a unique first-person shooter, very immersive. It has a little bit of horror elements to it, and if you like that genre, support them. I think they're a cool studio.
Yeah, right on. So Valheim, I know that's a pretty big PC title right now, just from all the Linus Tech Tips I watch, but it's coming to Xbox.
I've seen that.
No way! I want to play it. That's cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Telltale is back.
Oh, interesting. What are they coming out with?
It was an Amazon series called The Expanse. They're doing a piece based on The Expanse, as well as they're doing later in the year. Apparently, they're doing The Wolf Among Us 2.
Nice. The Forza Motorsport reboot is coming to Xbox and PC the first half of this year.
The sequel to Ark 2. Not my kind of game, but survival, but it looks cool.
Ark 2 Electric Boogaloo, got it.
Hades 2. Hades was Game of the Year. Hades 2 comes out.
Shout out. And
Lies of P. Lies of P is like I've talked about it a couple times, but it looks Dark Soulsy and really cool. It's like it's a Pinocchio tale, and which is crazy, but it looks cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
So there's a big list of ones that don't currently have dates as well. So like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name. So Like a Dragon is Yakuza, the Ryuga Gotoku, the company that made all the Yakuza games. They just renamed their entire franchise Like a Dragon. So all of the Yakuza games are now called Like a Dragon. So that's the next one if you're interested in those. And actually, I really enjoyed Yakuza Like a Dragon. So that one actually interests me a little bit.
Oh, Preston, this game should be on your list. Have you ever so Payday 3? Have you ever played a Payday?
Yeah, I talked about that before.
Oh yeah, did you actually mention it in the episode?
I did not. I was trying to keep my list short, but that is one that I'm actually looking forward to. They just dropped the trailer a couple days ago.
To me, Rockay City looks like GTA and Payday had a baby. Like this looks like a straight up Payday, which is a good game.
Well, Payday is like GTA and Hitman.
Payday 3 will be set in a living, enormous New York City.
Mm-hmm. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I've never played one. That definitely seems like one that could be interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, you described it as Hitman meets GTA.
GTA, yeah.
Nice. Another Telltale game. Did you actually just say this? The Wolf Among Us 2?
Yeah, that's the other Telltale game.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Also, so I loved Control. And Control was in the Alan Wake universe. And so Alan Wake 2 comes out this year. But I never actually played Alan Wake. So now I'm hoping maybe they'll do an Alan Wake remake and then I could play Alan Wake 2. But
wait,
it's good.
Didn't they do an Alan Wake remake? Or no, it is just Alan Wake 2 is what they announced.
They might have done like a remaster a while ago.
That might have been what it was.
Remastered was 2021. Oh, maybe I should.
Yeah, I thought I remembered. That was a pretty big deal.
I should jump on that because I liked Control a lot. I don't think it's similar at all in gameplay, but it's the same universe, and I liked it.
Yeah. Last one that I noticed it's probably worth talking about because we kind of mentioned it before. Party Animals is coming to PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series
Yes.
X, which Andy was pretty excited
about. And that's
about.
a Game Pass game too. Let's go.
Game Pass is killing it.
You guys got to come over. We got to stream that all at the same house. Like,
I'm so down.
That would be so
When's
fun.
it come out?
TBD.
Gotcha.
According to this one list.
That one seriously needs to come out soon. It's been talked about forever.
Yeah. It does look fun. It looks hilarious.
It's basically Gang Beasts, but polished. Really polished.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
Man, tell me that's not a stacked year.
And that we mentioned 10% of it, maybe, on this one list.
And of the releases, if you look at the games that have releases, they go through basically the summer, and then the fall is empty, which makes me be like, well, then what's in the fall?
Right.
I wonder if there's going to be like any surprise announcements at like PAX or E3 or whatever, because E3 is coming back this year, like in person, right? I did hear about that.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because PlayStation doesn't go anymore. Xbox kind of does its own thing. Like everyone, it's just a weird time. But Xbox will probably have a presence. But I think what's cool about a lot of these games we just mentioned coming out the first half of the year too is that means if you're patient, Black Friday at the end of this year is going to have so many sales because games that are 6 months old always go to Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Save that money.
So yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. I don't think we have much else to talk about. But yeah, we're excited for 2023. Well, I mean, much else to really expound upon. But yeah, so we're super excited for 2023. We hope you guys are too. 2023 is we want to keep pursuing this this endeavor here, this Dad Casual podcast, and we want you guys to come along for the ride. So please go ahead and contact us, interact with our socials, send us an email at dadcasualpodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you want to talk about. We want to know what questions you have about us, about video games, about family.
And tell us what we missed.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's look forward to 2023 together. And with that, we're out.
See you later.
Later.